Hiya, my name is Yome and I'm a visual artist. I'm an artist. Yeah, create work.
Okay.
And for sale, really.
For sale?
Yeah.
You sell your work?
Yeah.
Really?
All my works are for sale.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I used to work in fashion before.
You work in fashion?
I used to.
Like, are you a fashion designer? Or...
No, I'm not. I'm not a fashion designer. I'm a textile designer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a fashion designer, but I used to work as a fashion design assistant. Art has always been my first love, not fashion. I like fashion, but I don't have a passion. I don't have the drive
to keep
doing it.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And I realized that when I was working, for example, pretty much everyone at the studio, they would get excited for these designers, fashion week and whatnot. Be like, oh my gosh, did you see what John Galliano did? Did you see what?
And you're like,
and I was just like, I don't give a shit.
I know
like,
that feeling.
Cool.
Okay,
cool.
like, okay.
Like, yes, it looks nice, but I don't really care. I've always known that I wanted to be an artist, and then my dad taught me how to draw and paint when I was about 7 or 8. He sat me down and he taught me this landscape and whatnot. I felt very conscious of I always felt very self-conscious because at that time it wasn't really popular to want to be an artist. And so I would tell people, yeah, I want to be an artist, but then in response they would be like, oh well, you're gonna die poor, or you won't make a living, blah blah blah. I remember this one time my dad came to pick me up from school and he asked me, he was like, Yoma, so what do you want to study at university? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's not that I didn't know, but I didn't have the courage to say, oh yeah, I want to be an artist. And he just looked at me and he was like, it's okay if you want to study art, right? And I was like, oh, okay, yep, alright then. That's it. My favorite artists are Marcel Duchamp, René Magritte, and then Ben Vautier. I like those ones just mostly because of their play on language and their use of text. And Ben Vautier, really, it's just his use of text in everything that he does. He just writes. That's all.
He writes.
He could just write on a canvas and frame it. That's it. That's the work. He would write on a piece of glass, frame it. That's the work.
That's it.
I mean, an artist never retires, really. No, you just decide, okay, yeah, I want to stop, but you can't really retire. That's the thing, because it's a part of you. It's you. It's who you are. So there's no way that I would stop creating. I have this thing of finding joy in everything. I'm more of a passion-driven person. I have to really love it. It has to be part of me for me to want to keep doing it, and it's more for me to want to do it well.
Okay.
Yeah. Something that you practice. It's something that you have to keep doing and you have to try. If I were to define success as an artist, like I keep saying, it's when you know that you created from a place of authenticity and that is truth, right? It's when you know that you've done all that you can. You've poured out everything that is inside of you, right? You're letting what is inside of you express itself. Where do I see myself in the next 5 years? Hopefully a lot better than I am now. Hopefully my works have drastically improved from what they are now. The plan is just to keep making and keep making work. I don't actually feel intimidated by other artists, to be fair. I mean, there's room for everyone, really. A lot of times when I look at other artists' work, it's to improve on my work as well. It's to better myself. It's to look at your technique, look at the way that you're telling your stories and whatnot. So no, in that sense, I don't feel intimidated.
Art is just the truest form for me to express myself, really. It's life, it's expression, and it's truth. And I don't really know how to express myself any other way. I always say that art, or my work really, are my second voice. Or they're the voice that I feel most comfortable using.
my advice to young artists out there is to keep going, right? Keep making the work, keep making art. You know, I know that occasionally it can be discouraging, right? Especially if, you know, whether you feel like no one gets what you're doing or there's no space for you within the market or whatnot. Eventually people will catch up to that. But don't ever lose yourself when you're making. Don't try and follow the trend. Don't follow the trend. Create the trend. Okay? Create what is most honest for you to create. You know, always ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Question your work, question yourself when you're making it. And eventually, it'll be alright. People will catch up to your work. So it takes time, it's a process, but eventually people will catch up to it, so don't give up. I mean, if you like this video, subscribe to the memes and share it.